Okay, so I'm still in the middle of festival reviews. Don't worry, I haven't forgot about them. I just got a little busy and I decided I'd take a couple of days to actually write more reviews for the festival movies that I've seen. But a couple movies came out recently that are horror movies that I actually got the chance to see. So I wanted to actually talk about them a little bit. I saw the door just open, that was a cat. Anyway, let's only talk about one of them today. I want to keep it a little slow, just casual. Anyway, I managed to watch the brand new Jim Cummings film, The Wolf of Snow Hollow. This is his second film, with the first being Thunder Road, released back in 2018. That was a pretty awesome debut feature where Jim Cummings directed, wrote, edited, starred, and composed the music for it. With his newest film, he only directs, writes, and stars in it, but it still turned out to be a pretty great watch. Despite this not being as great as Thunder Road, I would still call this an incredibly entertaining flick. This is a film that's almost solely carried by the entertainment that Jim Cummings brings to his performance. Just like Thunder Road, his performance is pretty freaking phenomenal. His character has a ton of moments where he's supposed to be clearly going for laughs. The comedy in this film is very well done. There are quite a few scenes where Cummings proves that he not only can write genuinely funny scenes, but he can add a lot of comedy with his performance. Honestly, his comedic delivery carried a lot of the entertainment for quite a few scenes. There are also characters that are given chances to be funny and they come across as pretty memorable. While Cummings' character isn't meant to be all that likable, Jim manages to bring a ton of humanity to the performance. So much so that you can't help but side with him and even feel sorry for him at points. He has a handful of moments that are meant to be very dramatic and somewhat heartbreaking in ways. The final performance by Robert Forrester was great, even though he's not the focus of the story. What I really appreciated about this film was how considerate it was of its premise.
My main concern going into this film was with the action horror elements themselves. With this film's low budget, I kind of expected the killings and action to be either mostly off-screen or incredibly subdued, but to my surprise, there was quite a bit of well-choreographed action sequences and bloody violence. There was a scene where a character loses an arm and the effect was honestly pretty great. It was quite surprising and totally caught me off guard. There's another scene where a character is stabbed and it's delivered so well in the practical effects, music, and performance.
There are a few scenes that are certainly meant to be dramatic and get an emotional reaction out of you, but at the same time there are a ton of comedic elements, action elements, and even horror elements. All of these elements turn out some very exhilarating and engaging sequences, some of which feature mostly dialogue. This is a film that doesn't take itself too seriously and skips through all the bullshit and gets right to what you want to see. I'm glad to see that Jim Cummings has shown that he can direct a great thriller horror comedy instead of being a one-trick pony with the dark comedy drama that was Thunder Road. But like I said earlier, this film is not as great as Thunder Road. One thing I really appreciated about Thunder Road was its abundance of these very impressive and clearly well thought out long takes, some of which lasted many minutes. The first long take of that film alone lasts over 10 minutes. I'm not saying that I was expecting something like that in this film, but with it being a new Jim Cummings film, I kind of wanted to see more long takes than we got. Luckily, there are a couple here and there that are actually pretty well thought out. There's one in particular that takes place at a crime scene where there's clearly a lot of extras, walking around and doing their own stuff, and Jim Cummings' character is the focus of this scene, and the camera's basically following him throughout this little crime scene. And there's a lot of yelling, and there's a lot of do this and do that, and it's actually very well done. I also think that the camera work makes up for this lack of long takes with the creative use of pans and zooms. There's a scene with Cummings in a car answering his radio, and that barely 5-second moment is just so exhilarating and sets the tone for the next scene incredibly well, all because of the camera work and performance. One huge improvement upon Thunder Road was with the music. As much as I loved Thunder Road, it's no secret that the music could have used a little bit of work. Not to say that it was bad, but it was the one thing about that film that kind of reminded me of its low-budget limitations in a film that otherwise kind of blew those limitations out of the water. With The Wolf of Snow Hollow, it's clear that a ton of effort went into the music, and I commend the director for actually paying attention to stuff like that. While it was overused at some points, there are scenes where it kind of gave off a John Carpenter vibe. Despite this film's budget being only around $2 million and being filmed in the snow, it's honestly very impressive that this film managed to accomplish what it set out to accomplish. Jim Cummings has solidified himself as a director that I'll continuously keep my eyes on and eagerly await any project that he makes. In fact, his next film is actually set to possibly have a 2021 release, according to the Letterboxd page. I'm not entirely sure if that's actually going to happen, but, you know, a man can hope. As for The Wolf of Snow Hollow, he has truly made something very entertaining and unique. And while I don't think it's as amazing as Thunder Road, they're very different films going for very different things. To the people who might try and compare this to Thunder Road as they're watching it, I know that I did that in this video, but I was mainly doing like individual aspects when it comes to the director and not the movies as a whole. Do not try to compare this to Thunder Road, okay? They're both very different films going for very different things. If you go in trying to compare this to Thunder Road, if you've seen Thunder Road, that's just not how you should watch this at all. That is just the wrong way to watch this movie. Thunder Road is a dark comedy drama about toxic masculinity. The Wolf of Snow Hollow is about an alcoholic cop who hunts a werewolf. Don't compare these two. Yeah, don't go in expecting a bona fide masterpiece, but I gotta be honest, The Wolf of Snow Hollow was incredibly entertaining, and I would easily give it a strong 7. That was a very fun movie, and I hope that the people who are watching this video who haven't seen it, go check it out, and go check out Thunder Road if they haven't already. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. That's all I'm gonna go for now. That's all I'm gonna talk about for now. I saw Possessor. That was the other movie I was gonna talk about, but I'll talk about that later. I want to let my thoughts on that settle, because I just watched it last night. So, yeah. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. I'm Cynic, the critic. You know who I am. I'm going offline for now.